morning. So here we are in Whyteleafe by BSW Heating, ready to take on the rest of section 5 of the London Outer Orbital Path and hopefully do section 6 as well, which is a fairly short section. So let's see how we do. And the first thing we do is go over the railway line that just brought us here from London Bridge, and then unfortunately we have a steep hill to climb. So there's the view back to the quarry that we had to divert round at the end of the last section, which for us was yesterday. And here we are at the top of I don't know how many steps, coming onto Kenley Common with another one of those big City of London signs. So we've just taken a little detour to have a look at Kenley Aerodrome, which is still an active RAF base, glider training school, and one of the few surviving, more or less unchanged, airfields from the Second World War. Over 40 squadrons came and went here during the Second World War, and it's being preserved as a heritage site to remember those squadrons. Apparently this is crew accommodation, but most of it seems to have fallen down. If you want to know more, pause the video now. Back out into one of these rows of very nice large houses that you come across from time to time on the outskirts here, and then we climb up into more woodland, I believe. And we walk into one of those well-maintained segments of the London Loop. Surprises me that a walk that's supposed to be such a major walk can have sections like this. Anyway, gets a bit easier now. So here we are at the Norman Fisher Observatory, owned by the Croydon Astronomical Society, and possibly the smallest observatory in the world to the left of it there. That's the baby one. Okay, just walking back into the woods now to find Waterhouse Lane. Here it is. Apparently, according to the book, it's an old sunken track, forgotten in modern times, except of course for us loop walkers. It looks like we have to go down quite steeply initially. Oh joy. Rain comes down, we enter Old Caulston. Again, sudden transition from what appears to be remote woodland into outer suburbia. Looks like the loop goes straight up that hill. Just coming out of Ryden's Lane, and we're going to go straight across there. Straight across here into Caulston Common. Loop pointing us straight ahead. If you pause the video to read that information board, you'll see that this was a place of windmills, and is the highest point we get to on the London Loop at 580 feet above sea level. And it's raining. So we'll say goodbye to Caulston Common and the highest point of the loop, descending now into Happy Valley, which is handy because I fancy a Chinese takeaway. Okay, so saying goodbye to Happy Valley and climbing out into Devil's Den Wood. Uphill again, just under 1,000 feet ascent for this segment, but then we are skirting round the top of the North Downs, so I guess it would be hilly. Look at this, it's wet but humid, the woodland's literally steaming. Rather welcome public conveniences at the car park here. Now walking into Farthing Down, a lovely piece of downland just on the outskirts of London, which is going to take us down to Caulston and the end of section 5. One of the last areas of land held by the City of London on this bit of the loop anyway, and I don't think it will come out on the video, but in the distance I can actually see the city. So time, I think, soon to stop for one of those samosas we bought at Old Street Station just this morning in a different world. So there we are, the last look back over Farthing Down towards Happy Valley before we start the descent to Caulston. Just coming over the hill, looking down into Caulston, New Caulston. And I can see in the distance, in a northerly direction, all the way across to the City of London. Time for a break. Off the downs now, coming into Caulston, where we're going to go to the station, straight through the station onto section 6. So here ends section 5 of the loop. And here begins section 6. So the first part of section 6 basically goes down Caulston High Street. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, just climbing out of Caulston now, off Woodman Road, heading towards Banstead, section 6. So without really leaving housing estates, we find ourselves in Clockhouse village, and if you're doing the loop, here's the Jack and Jill pub. Looks like it's for sale at the moment, so no respite. Anyway, might be a place to stop and rest your weary legs, but we're carrying on. Just walking past people's back gardens now. The golf course on my right. So it looks rural, but it isn't really. It's semi-rural. And now we're back in the countryside, looking back over towards London again. Although I can hear something, a school or something over to my left. Often heard but rarely seen. That's a chiff-chaff. So now we're wandering through Caulston Road pastures, out of that woodland into this very pleasant scrubland, I suppose you'd call it, but it's lovely. You can still hear those kids, but it feels like a nice little secret pocket of countryside with civilization all around us and London just a few miles away. And look at this, just walked into the Mayfield lavender fields. Absolutely glorious. I assume we don't have to pay, given that we're on the right of way, but something different. There's a sign that says you need a permit to photograph this lavender if you're going to make any money from it. So if ever I hit 100,000 subscribers and YouTube start paying me, I guess I'll have to pay Mayfield a little bit from this video. Very unlikely, so let's film away. Beautiful. Moving on, we've just crossed the road into Oaks Park. And we'll follow our way through this municipal park, really. It's not really countryside, it's managed. Doesn't make it any the less pleasant though. Well, there we found this little gem, the Oaks Park Cafe. Sit down for a coffee, a little bite to eat. Hopefully we won't get too wet. And off we go, final mile or so to Banstead Downs. Now we're walking down Fair Lawn Road towards Rivendell, where we're going to turn left onto an ancient green lane. No hobbits round here. Okay, past Rivendell into Freedown Lane. Apparently it's been here for a few hundred years. So as we walk along this ancient bridleway, it's funny to think of people walking along here for centuries before the railways and the roads, planes, cars. To my right is High Down Prison. You can just see the walls and the buildings from time to time through the bushes. But it's very peaceful here, and I haven't seen an escaped convict yet. So here's the wall of the prison, and that looks a nice path, but we're not going down there. We're following this lane until it hits the road. Cross this road and straight on to Banstead Downs. Another beautiful piece of downland, scrub. So over this branch line to Epsom Downs apparently. And now we go left, and looking forward to my favourite walk, which is through a golf course. You know how friendly golfers are to walkers. Well, I remember the golf course on the Leicester outer orbital path, which I'm making up beside the M1. This is new. You actually have to cross this busy road as part of your round of golf. Obviously makes golf here a high-risk occupation. Look at that view down towards London, down this A217. Amazing. So, here we are at the end of section 6. Section 7 carries on down there, and that's where we'll be going next time, to find the Thames at Kingston. And down there is our way back to Old Street via Banstead Station. So I hope you've enjoyed this walk. It's been another gorgeous walk, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.